And welcome back, everybody, to the Podcaster Nation. That's right. I said welcome back because I know you were just listening to our stuff and you came back for more. Folks, you're
Oh yeah.
brilliant. There we go. You are brilliant. Our guest is into it too today. All right. Folks, the reason we have more for you is because this is the podcast that's about podcasters. It's for podcasters and it's done by podcasters. And you guessed it. Our guest today is a podcaster, amongst other
Imagine that. I
things.
love it. This will be
And
fun.
and he's ready to rock. Folks,
That's
this
right.
is this is the
That's right.
place where the rising
Let's make
tide
this a
raises
fun
all
episode,
ships.
right?
Let's hit it. All right, let's get sailing and bring in our guest today. Host of the I Am Pain Free podcast and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to let him tell you about once we get rolling. Please welcome Rob Rene. Rob, brother, how you doing today, man?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited to be here and just blessed to be on this earth. And it's gonna be fun. Every day I wake up and I have breath in my lungs. I know that he has a plan for my life, so I'm gonna make the best of it. And I'm super excited to be here with you today.
Thank you, man. I love this. I love your energy. I'm ready to
Thank
go.
you.
You can go work out or something. This
Yeah,
is
I know.
All right, Rob, let everybody know. Tell everybody a little bit about who is Rob Rene. What are you about? What's your story, man?
Yeah, it's a fun one. It could go on forever, but to summarize it, I really believe that the Lord had me on this earth for a reason, like I mentioned, and I feel I branded myself kind of as a faith and health warrior because I really want to help people with their health in a dramatic way. What I discovered the last 5 years is traumatic. It was for me on what's happening in our health world, and I also during that time frame helped an amazing relationship, and so I'm in the Bible every day, and I really believe that He's leading me, and I'm excited to follow Him, and I want to be able to help people understand what it is, and if they want to join me, great. If not, totally understand. But I have a really big heart for people. I have a heart for their health because man, our country is in a mess right now, and we need to really help people with their health. And I believe that once people are healthy, then guess what? They can have an impact on this world. And so I'm super stoked about that. And kind of how I got there was a really interesting story. I started off my youth as an athlete, right? Like all of us young kids do. I played all different types of sports, but running was a huge passion of mine. And I wanted to be a professional runner. I got a full ride scholarship to a Division I school. I was really good at running, and I the second best miler in the country at that time. And I ended up getting into an accident in Utah. So it's a really long story, but in summary, I was running a 10-mile run with my friend in the winter. It was all snow-covered roads and snowing, and I got hit by a 4x4 truck. And that truck almost ended my life. And so I think maybe I'm on three, maybe four near-death experiences where times in my life where, I maybe should not be here, but he keeps me on this earth for some reason. And I just like, okay, Lord, I get it. Thank you. I'm glad I can continue being with my family and trying to make an impact. But man, it really puts a onerous on me just to say, live for him and help other people. And instead of living for my possession or just material things have gone out the window. Everything I thought was important is really not important. And I really found to be the things in life that are really important are my family and my relationships. And obviously my relationship with him first, and then my wife, and then my kids, and then the jobs and other things. They're pretty far down the list. Whereas that used to be just the opposite, right? I was living the way the world told me to live for a long time, which was, after my accident, it took me a really long time to recover from that. I went into the corporate world and I did what the world tells you, right? So I spent a long time climbing up the corporate ladder, working for a large company and selling enterprise software, and thought that that was the most important thing in the world was to do that. And now, man, I'm just like 100% different than I was, 10 years ago. So if you'd told me 10 years ago I'd be doing what I'm doing today, and I'd said, you're absolutely crazy, right? One, I don't like to talk about politics. I don't like to talk about religion. Those are things I didn't know a lot about. So it's like very uncomfortable to talk about things like that. for me. And now I'm just so comfortable in my faith, and I know so much about what I believe in and why that I'm comfortable talking about it. And there's a lot of people that don't like what I do or don't like me because of who I am, and I'm okay with that. And I'm confident and comfortable in myself and having those conversations. But I love podcasting just because it's such a great way to have a conversation like we're having. Whereas there's so many other ways of media that everybody's in this instant gratification, right? Their Instagrams and the TikToks and podcasting is a way where you can slow down, you can have a conversation for a half hour, 45 minutes, with someone, and you can get to know them at a human level. And I think that's going to be more and more important as this AI, you just deluge of jobs that are going to be lost, and people are going to be lost in a really big way in this next next few years. And people are going to need these conversations. People are going to need these podcasts to listen to and to have hope that there is hope. So anyway, I could go on, like I said, for a really long time, but that's kind of who I am, how I got here, and I have some exciting plans of what I'm going to do in the future. But that's in a nutshell who Rob Rene is.
I love that. You tell a great story, brother. You
I
really do.
appreciate it.
And I'm telling you, he's not done with you.
Yeah, he is
Four
not.
near-death experiences, that's nothing. He's not done with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just had one. I think I might have told you just a couple weeks ago. So this latest one was just like another huge wake up call. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is literally amazing. And I keep saying that, but it's like it's so. I just woke up as a new man in the respect that all the stuff that I thought mattered really just does not matter. And so I'm just living for him, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it, right? I'm just going to talk about it, and if you don't like me, that's okay. I'm fine with that. But I do have a story to tell, and I have hope. I give people hope with their health. I'm just so passionate about health, and there's a reason why I'm really super passionate about health, right? With the struggles that I've had, and my knowledge of just about health is going through the roof about what I'm learning. And I want to take everything that I'm learning and just pass it on as a gift to people and a free gift to people and say, hey, here's things you can do to help you live a healthy life. And then I'm trying to build a kingdom business, right? Because I want to have a big impact on the world. And so in order to have a big impact on the world, I have to have an organization that drives revenue. And if I can drive revenue, then I can take that revenue and really have big impact on people's lives in a really positive way. So I'm building that business not for me, but to have an impact on his kingdom. And so that's what I'm doing, and it's super fun to do it. And the my podcast is going to be a really big part of my future. So I've had a fun time the last year and a half doing my I Am Pain Free podcast, and we can talk about why I got into doing an I Am Pain Free. Is a strange name for a podcast, but it's important, and it's a problem that millions of people in our world have. Our seniors, 50 plus percent of our seniors have chronic pain or some type of pain, and it's just sad, right? It's really sad. They shouldn't. And there's ways that we can live pain free naturally and faithfully. And that's what I try to help people with. It's like, hey, yes, you are in pain now, but guess what? That's not the way God designed you. God designed you to have a healthy body. And so what's the problem? What's the core issues that we're dealing with? And then how can we back those off, and how can we help you start feeling better? And then Jesus, when people are feeling better, then guess what? They start having much more interaction with their friends and their family and their loved ones. And then that they're living a much more fulfilling life when they're not in pain all the time, because pain is miserable.
Yeah, 100%. And you gave us a beautiful segue. I mean, clearly you're a fantastic podcaster because you're doing my job too, man. This is so easy. I should have brought a sandwich with me.
I
I'm
like
just
it.
it's great. But you're talking about, kind of like what the podcast is about, where the title came from, and then that really is also kind of what your business is based on. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about the business, and then we can go into the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
sounds great. So
what's the
my
business?
first
Go for it.
One of the things that started me into this whole health world was intriguing because I was not into the health world. I was addicted to alcohol. I was overweight, and I was in the corporate world, right? I was just working my butt off, and then when I get done working, I'd go, watch TV or have my 5 o'clock somewhere, drink. And it would be, I was watching sports all the time. I was really passionate about that. And I was playing video games and just all the things that life nowadays is teaching you to do and not do what you should be doing. And if I look back at myself now, I'm like so frustrated. It's like I wasted so much time and effort and money on doing things that really added no value to my life and or anybody else's life. And it was really selfish, right? For me sitting there play video games for 2 o'clock in the morning when I've got an important client meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, just is silly. But it's stuff that I did for a really long time, and I thought that was gratifying because it was me, it was fun for me. And so, anyway, to make a really long story short, when the pandemic hit, it was kind of that second truck that hit me. And that second truck really started me down this health passion because I'm like, okay, I lost my corporate job because I couldn't travel anymore. So they downsized the team. And I started doing research on health because I'm like, okay, one, I wanted to protect my family. I'm like, okay, this is scary. Everyone's scared to death. What's going on? How can I protect my family? And that started me doing this skill set that I implore everybody to learn and to have now, which is research, right? Get this skill set of research and don't believe what you hear from anybody. And I know that's rough and tough to say, but it's honestly from my heart. That's what I want you to do. Don't believe what the media says. Don't believe what the newspaper that I used to actually grow up when there was a real newspaper, right? But now it's the newspaper feed on your social media. But don't believe what the radio tells you. It's because in the social media news feeds you get, it's a controlled agenda, and that's the stuff that I had learned that during my research that really pissed me off. Really, really did. I'm like, how can us, the United States of America, in the freest society. I thought this was only happened in Korea or China, North Korea and China. They're the ones who were just fed a line of information, and the people don't know what's happening. And gosh, lo and behold, I find out I'd been lied to for 50 years of my life. And it's just like, are you kidding me? How is that? How does that happen? And how do I, as a intelligent man with a college degree, and just not saying I'm super smart, but I'm an educated man, and I understand things and I can learn things. But I was so focused on doing what the world told me to do, I didn't look at what was really happening in the world. So again, really long story to make it shorter is that I started doing that research. And when I did the research, it really uncovered the problem in our healthcare system in the United States, right? We are the richest country in the world, or at least we're close, and we spend the most money for sure on healthcare than anybody else in the world. And we have almost the worst healthcare in the world. It's just like so upside down, it's not even funny. And so you start doing research on why, and it just became really evident in the early 1900s, our healthcare system was taken over. And so that started me on this passion. I'm like, okay, that really pisses me off. And so how can I help, right? What can I just one little person do to help this world? And so I started a company to help people with, I was going to do supplements at first. That was my first thought. And I heard about quantum energy and these skin patches that have frequencies on them. I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. I didn't believe it, to be honest. So the guy gave me this patch and said, put it on your body and it's going to help you. I'm like, okay, cool. What is it? He says it's a patch. Says it's got frequencies on it. I'm like, okay, I didn't know what frequencies were. I'm like, there's no medicine on it. It's not like going to go inside my body and fix me. Like, that's what I was assuming it did. And he's like, no, it just connects to the energy system. It's going to help you with your, pain was the IK that I had the I Am Pain Free podcast. And, I didn't believe it. So then I started doing this new skill that I learned is research. I said, okay, this guy sounds nuts. Let me go research this. And so I started researching the human body, right? Oh my gosh, the human body is amazing. Right? The temple that God gave us is so complex and so amazing, but our body is made up of energy. And even at the cellular level, our body interacts from a cellular perspective via vibrations. And those vibrations give off, guess what? A frequency. And so I started learning about frequencies. And I'm like, oh my gosh, frequencies aren't weird. I thought it was a weird term and I didn't understand it, but frequencies are literally everywhere. The sound that you're listening to, color, you know, your cell phone uses a frequency. The radio, you dial in the frequency to get to your radio. Back in the day when people actually had a radio, you know, I'm obviously aging myself during this conversation, but the point is that going through that was just a really amazing wake up time for me. And I'm like, okay, wow, here it is. We're being lied to. Our healthcare system is a mess, and frequencies are this patch is really cool. I started learning about how intentions and prayer can have a physical impact on an external thing, things I also didn't believe. But the more I researched it, I love this book. This is called Hidden Messages in Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto, Dr. Emoto. If you do a search on him and YouTube or anything, he's got these images of beautiful water crystals that he's done, and what he did is all these scientific studies on how different things will impact water. And it's just so cool because you'll see a bad frequency and a positive frequency, and the bad frequency just jumbles up the water, and the crystals in the water are just a mess. And you get a positive vibration and a positive frequency, even a positive tone from somebody and a positive intention on something, and it will physically change the structure of the water. And so I didn't believe that stuff. I really didn't. I thought that was nuts. I thought that was woo-woo. I thought that was just stuff that was not accurate. But the more I researched, I just debunked myself. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, so this is real stuff, and this does happen. And so now these patches make a lot more sense because you put this frequency on your body. Your body is made up of energy. It connects to your energy system, and then it starts helping. And so our patch is so amazing that it takes you put it on and it interrupts the signal from your pain to your brain. That's the easiest way for me to explain it. And so your body doesn't recognize that issue that you're having. And so all of a sudden your brain doesn't recognize it. Then guess what? You start feeling better because the pain is just literally I've learned through my year and a half of interviewing all these holistic practitioners and doctors that help people live a pain-free life and pain-free existence. I'm like, how do you do that? Why do you do it that way? What do you use? Just I'm learning all these things about different modalities to help people with pain and pain relief. And it's just fascinating because it was like they all come back to our God made this amazing body that's built to heal itself. And if you give it the right nutrients and you give it the right nurturing, your body starts working the way it's supposed to work. And then things like inflammation can be reduced. And things like, so it's like you start learning this. And so to have a product that helps you live a better life without having that issue you have has just been transformational in a lot of people's lives. So that was my first foray into health, was that, and that got me so passionate that I ended up starting the I Am Pain Free podcast because it's like our pain product was really helping people. I'm like, that's amazing. Then the more research I did on pain, which was just sad, really sad of how big of a problem pain is in our society. So that's where I started this thing. I was like, I just want to try to help people. So that's
Nice.
what I did.
Nice. When you started the podcast, and again, great segue. Love it. Perfect. When you started the podcast, the purpose of the podcast, was it to share the information in terms of education? Was it to promote the business? How were you using the podcast when you first started it to try and move things along?
Yeah, of course. Early on, I was like, had all these intentions. Oh, I'm gonna build this big podcast, and it's gonna be amazingly popular, and I'm gonna sell the heck out of my product. That was my initial thought, but it
Sure.
just like very, very, very quickly became not that. It became I really don't care about my product. Of course, I want to promote my product, but I want to just help people because every interview had nothing to do with my product, right? All the interviews have to do with natural health and natural healing and what you can do. And sometimes it's not even natural. Sometimes it's using drugs to help you and medicine that's helping you and just other modalities to help people. So I've tried to just look at pain in general, but it just happens that most of the people I'm interviewing are holistic practitioners, right? Who are really trying to do things naturally and faithfully, which is where my heart is. So I think I attract those types of people to be on my show. Then it just became, hey, if it sells more of my patches, great. And if I, but do I really want to build a huge podcast? No. It became a weekly podcast that I could just spend a very little amount of time on, and I could have a great conversation with somebody who's helping people, and that's what it became. And I didn't, I early on I had all these visions and ideas of how I was going to build this big thing, and it just didn't feel right to be marketing my podcast and to grow my podcast. That wasn't the heart of it. The heart of it was just to help people, and I think we have helped people, a lot of people over the last year and a half, and then I've just so excited about the future, right? Because I've got some really interesting plans that I'm just believe is why I'm here on this earth, is to not to help people like I mentioned, and I believe I've got an amazing strategy that is going to really help, and it's going to take me about a year for that to actually come all together. But I'm going to be starting. I'm starting that right now, and it's going to take me about 12 months for it to, people to really look back, and that at least they're going to find my my podcast. They're going to find my newsletter. They're going to find my community, and they're going to be going, "Wow, this is pretty cool." And I'm hoping it doesn't take me 12 months, but I'm giving myself a window. And so in 12 months, I want to be really proud of what we put together these last 12 months, and everything that I've learned as a human being from my childhood up until who I am today is all going into that experience. So it's going into what my passion is and why I'm passionate about it, and all the resources I want to be able to collect for people. And those resources are going to be all over the board. It's going to be humans in this world who are helping people with these different components that I'm going to talk about. It's modalities. It's like, tools and the greatest technology, the newest thing that's going to help people, and the newest herbs and the newest discoveries about these amazing natural solutions that are helping people. So I'm going to be digging into all of that and providing as much free resources as I can to people. It's going to be a community that's going to be amazing, and we're going to get a lot of collaborators in it, get a lot of experts in it, and just normal everyday Joe who's interested in helping the human body, both from a physical perspective, but also from a faith-based perspective. I'm going to try to build the first and only podcast and, well, community collection called Biohackingville. So I have the name of the Biohackingville behind me, and that's for a purpose, because Biohackingville is the culmination of Rob Rene's life. It's like I love different things. Biohacking is a cool term, and I love looking at different ways to help my body do things that most people may not have thought of, right? And so, just things like red light therapy and take doing cold plunges and all these types of things that biohackers are really passionate about. But that's a component of what I want to do. But then obviously my faith is very important to my world, and so faith is going to be a big part of that as well, because your mind is very, very powerful. Your mind can control your body in a major way. But I also believe in divine healing, right? I believe that the Lord can heal people, and He does. He still does today. There's just, time and time again, you'll hear people who have been healed. All of a sudden, miraculously, the doctor's like, "Where did your tumor go?" Right? Your tumor's gone. How did that possibly happen? There's no way that happened, and it does. And so I know that there's a divine healing. So I'm gonna combine biohacking. I'm gonna combine faith, and I'm going to have a defined area for integrative oncology, because cancer is a ginormous problem in our society
Wow.
that's never been figured out. But there are a lot of amazing integrative oncologists who are helping people with that problem. And so they're combining modern medicine and all the research that has been done in the world. But the problem in the United States is you cannot go outside of what's called the standard of care, right? If the doctors and if they don't do the standard of care, they'll get sued and they'll get kicked out or they'll get fired
Yeah.
for trying to help people. And then you have to so you have to have these integrative oncologists who understand what the standard of care is and does, but then you have all these modalities that a lot of it goes back into biohacking, right? It's like, okay, your body operates. God made his body so incredibly cool that it does, if you give it the right nutrients and you give it the right things at the right time, it does what it's supposed to do and it will heal itself, right? You can, in my honest belief, you can reverse a lot of disease by just what you put in your mouth, right? We literally are what we eat. And so, if you can change that and you can modify that and then use some of these biohacking components to make your life to improve your quality of life as you're transforming, right? This process, and I'm literally going through this transformation process as a human guinea pig. Did I want to be this human guinea pig? Hell no. But I am, right? The Lord put me in this situation where I am my own guinea pig. And I know that I'm going to win this battle. I've got stage 3 melanoma right now. And
Mhm.
I've been in this battle for 8 months. And man, I've learned ridiculous amounts of information in the last 8 months. And I know I'm going to continue to learn more and I'm going to win this battle that I'm battling. But guess what? I don't want to just win it for me. I want to learn so much and I want to collect as much information as I can. I want to have this integrative oncology section within Biohackingville. Biohackingville is the reason why it's a ville is because it's a collection of neighborhoods, right? I want this neighborhood of cancer treatments and natural cancer treatments. I want to have all these natural biohacking communities of people who are passionate about red light therapy, are passionate about all these other modalities and things that are really cool. But then I also want to have a faith one, right? How are people using faith-based stuff to heal, and what do those people do? So if you're interested in one, guess what? You're going to have a community where you can pop in and out of them. But you don't have to be a faith-based person to go look at the faith community. You know, you can go stay in the integrative oncology area, you know, and then or you can go up into the biohacking section and learn about this really cool new, quantum, computer that has frequencies on it that helps people do things. There's so many cool advancements that are happening that I want to just talk about it all, right? And I want to be able to have a collection of really good specialists who are in each one of those areas. And the specialists are going to be helping people learn about each one of those fields. So anyway, that's a very big vision of what I'm doing, but I'm doing my podcast is going to be called Biohackingville Podcast. So I'm rebranding the I Am Pain Free podcast, the Biohackingville Podcast. And then I have a newsletter that's going to go out initially once a week. It'll probably go, and probably the podcast will be much more than once a week. There's so many people that I want to talk to that only doing it once a week just is not going to do it justice.
Right.
I'm going to have to do it much more often, and so it's going to just become the podcast is going to become a really important part of the story because it's going to be this collection of amazing experts that I'm going to be gathering, and I'm going to take all the information that they have that they want to provide to the community, and I'm going to gather all that information. I'm going to be putting it into this community and allowing people to have access to this community. So it's going to be super fun, and there's going to be you can learn just ridiculous amounts of good information. And I'm passionate about AI, which is bizarre, right? This guy who loves health and faith, and all of a sudden I love AI. How does that work? But ever since I was young, I loved computers. I got one of the first IBM computers when they came out, and I just had a love for technology. And so all this AI stuff is fascinating to me. It can be used for good or bad, right? And a lot of people said,
Right.
"Oh, AI is going to kill." Society, and it potentially could, but at the same point, let's use it for good, right? Let's take what AI does and let's use it for good. And so I want to create these AI systems and solutions and help people with their health, right? How do we use it in a productive way? So there's just fun things we're doing there. So AI is going to be just mixed within all of those because AI is going to have a huge impact on biohacking. AI is going to have a huge impact on the uh, the faith-based world, right? And what people believe, and there's going to be a lot of discussion about AI and faith, and then there's going to be a huge collection of people or AI related to cancer and integrative oncology. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's my big story and my big
I mean,
plans for the next 12 months. 12 years, probably, maybe so.
holy cow. I
Bam.
feel like you just turned the water hose off. It was like, whoa.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, I love it.
That's
I
a
mean, I was,
lot of information, but as you can tell, I'm super passionate about it, and I'm excited to turn this vision into reality and really make a difference in this world. I honestly 100% believe I was saved a week and a half ago for this purpose. I really do.
yeah, Rob, if anybody can do it, first of all, you can, brother. Okay. So absolutely
I
100%
appreciate it.
behind you. Love it. I was going to ask you, hey, how much of your new vision can you share with us? And then it was like, boom, there it
Sorry,
goes.
yeah, boom, there it
I
is.
love it.
So
No, I love it.
those are my plans. I'm sticking to them.
Let me ask you a couple quick questions, to tie some of this together. The podcast you have now, which is I am pain free. So you're going to rebrand, which means if someone's like subscribed or following that podcast, then that will turn into the new podcast, right? You're not going to start a new podcast from scratch.
That's right. I'm going to try
Okay.
to rebrand it just so that people can still follow it and still understand it, instead of doing a brand new one and just starting over. But at the same point, I don't have this huge following of people that's really probably not going to matter. But I just figure, hey, I might as well just rebrand it, and then people who are following me or looking for me, they'll find it. And then, I think pretty soon it's going to take a life of its own.
Yeah.
And I believe, early on, I have these visions of this podcast being a popular podcast. Biohacking is a very popular topic and conversation,
Oh yeah.
and no one's ever brought faith into the biohacking world, at least as far as I could. All the research I've done, it's like not been. It's been one or the other, right? You're in the biohacking world, and faith. There is mindset coaching and stuff as part of biohacking, but there's not a faith-based discussion as part of biohacking. And I
Right.
want to bring that into the equation, into the discussion. It doesn't have to be faith, but I just want to bring that into the discussion and have an area for people that if you do have faith and you are a believer in God, that you have a place to have a conversation about that. You have a conversation about AI and faith. You have a conversation about the biohacking and faith, and why is that okay, right? Why is it okay to biohack what God created? And it's not really, you're not hacking anything. You're just taking what God gave us and you're trying to give it what it needs to do what God designed it to be, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love about it, is it's like we're just doing what he designed, right? And we're still learning about this crazy body we have. It's like so amazing. You start learning about quantum energy and people are like, what? You start learning about the Tesla technology and what he did way back when, and that stuff is coming. They're starting to learn stuff about this quantum world, and how quantum energy works, and how these intentions work, and it's stuff you can't even measure. So if you can't measure it, how do you do a scientific study on it? But they know it exists because they can
Yeah.
prove that it exists, but they can't figure out how, right? So God's done stuff that we still can't figure out, which is fascinating to me. It's like, how can we be this advanced and we still haven't figured it out, right? So fun.
I love it. I'm glad you're doing it that way. And so anybody who's listening today, and we've got a pretty good following. So any of you folks that are listening today, and you want to, you're interested in the biohackingville that's coming up, and I know a lot of you guys are into that kind of thing. I think you're gonna really love it. Just go follow I Am Pain Free right now. Subscribe, follow, boom. Then when Rob makes all his changes, you'll be right there in the mix. You won't
That's
miss a
right.
single beat. You just move right on in. Now, in the podcast, I assume you're going to use the podcast, at least in part, informationally to tell everybody
Yes.
where the community is and how this works and all that kind of thing, right?
I am, and I'm going to interview these amazing people that are making a big impact on this world. My first interview is a woman called Dr. Naisha Winters. She wrote this book. This one is called Mistletoe and the Emerging Future of Integrative Oncology, and she's written a number of books, but this one is really special because I was with my cancer diagnosis, I was researching all these ways to do it naturally,
Yeah.
and I just kept people kept saying, you need to go meet Naisha Winters. I'm like, never heard of Naisha Winters. Who is she? And but it was weird. It was like I went to this conference a couple of months ago, and it was a health conference. So all these amazing people have all these cool gadgets and all these biohacking things. And had a knee scooter at the time because I just gotten surgery on my. I had melanoma on my ankle. And so I'd had surgery to remove that, and so I was on this knee scooter. So people obviously were asking me why I'm on a knee scooter, and had to tell them the story. And everybody I taught, not everybody, but literally three or four people from that conference specifically said, you need to go see Naisha Winters. And she's really famous for talking about metabolic health and how what you eat literally becomes you and how you can train your body to do what God designed. And then when it does do that, it can start healing. You can train your killer T cells to fight and attack these cancerous cells. And so there's all these different pathways, and there's diets, and there's different types of diets. There's different supplements, and that mistletoe is one of the things that she uses is mistletoe to instead of kissing your wife on Christmas underneath the mistletoe, you can actually use it to help you fight cancer. So it's just fascinating. She's an awesome woman. She's been doing it for 30 years, and she's building this farm in Arizona. This farm in Arizona is going to have literally, they're going to grow their own food. They're going to have their own animals on this farm, and they're going to have a 150 bed hospital where they're just treating people in a holistic way to get better from cancer. So it's
Wow.
just like such a cool thing. It's something she's tried to look for across the world and couldn't find. And so she's building it herself, which I'm like, man, that's a cool woman. I love her story and I
Yeah.
love what she's doing. And that just became like, okay, if I'm going to start Biohackingville, she's the one I want to start it with because that's kind of the whole everything that I'm learning in life. And she has a faith-based aspect to what she's doing too. It's just like, just fit. It's just like, okay, this is a great way to launch it. So that'll be my launching episode is with Dr. Naisha Winters and what she's doing. And I think people find that interview fascinating just because it's a interesting topic and she's got lots of experience and got really good tips for people who are going through things like that I'm going through that I think people really find value in. And I'm like, okay, to me, that was validation that that's what I should be doing. I should be taking these people who are having a real direct impact on people's lives, and I should be interviewing them. I should be finding out what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what can they provide people for free, right? What can you provide people now? And if you're a person, let's say you have some type of weird cancer that, maybe it's a shoulder cancer. I have no idea. There's so many different types of cancer, but what if you have this type of problem? And there's a specialist probably somewhere in this world who knows about that. And I want to find these people. I want to interview them, and I want to have them available, right? So if you go to Biohackingville, you go to the integrative oncology neighborhood within it, and you start searching around, I want to have people there, right? You want to look at Naisha Winters and what she's doing. How does she use mistletoe, right? Why does she use mistletoe? And I want to have all these resources there that just a collection of things that people can just go start finding things, and then they can go contact the right specialist to help them get well. And all I did was start gathering this amazing collection of people and interviews and information, and I'm just going to be a conduit. So instead of really focusing on selling supplements, I have a ridiculously amazing supplement. It's called Exodus. It really is helping people in a dramatic way. But instead of focusing on just growing a supplement business to grow a supplement business, I want to grow Biohackingville to help the world. And I believe that's what God put me here to do. So
Hey man, when you're
there you
called,
go.
when you're called to do
Yeah.
something, you answer it, man. You know, 100%.
That's right. That's right. So I'm literally, I'm yeah, financially this is a really 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 bad thing to do, but it doesn't finances don't matter to me. It's like if God will bless me one way or another, right? If at the end of the day, at the end of my life, if I when I'm judged, I want him to say, "Well done, good and faithful
Yeah.
servant." That's all I care about. If I make a whole bunch of to the same like that. The only thing that drives me is will he say that? Because that at the end of the day to me is my mission in life is to, as of my 55 or 57 years, I'm just turned 57, and it's like I lived 50 of it probably very selfishly, right? And lived it for me, not for anybody else. And so now I don't feel that way. And I want to live to make a difference in the world and help other people. And if I'm doing that, then I believe bless me for doing that one way or another. If it's not here on earth, fine. I think he'll bless me when I get to heaven. So that's what I'm striving for.
Wow. Wow, man. Just wow. Love every minute of it. Now, did we cover it all? Is there more coming? What we leave out?
Yeah, gosh, that's a great question. The only thing, maybe just exit. It's just real quick. This I got so it is so much fun. This product has got 7 biblical herbs in it that come from the Bible. That are really helpful. But then we have this special. This is another God thing. Is I met this practitioner who has this molecular hydrogen blend that when it goes inside your stomach, your body creates molecular hydrogen. And molecular hydrogen is all the rage right now. You talk to all the biohackers, and it's like, oh yeah, hydrogen is so important. Get these little pills and you stick in the water, and it fizzes up, and you drink your hydrogen water. And those are good, but at the same point, when you throw it into the water and it creates hydrogen, if you don't drink that right away, it starts diffusing. And so the hydrogen just goes up and then goes whoop, really down really quickly. Whereas these capsules, take them a couple in the morning and it goes in and it creates hydrogen inside your stomach, and then your body assimilates it. And then it assimilates hydrogen is the smallest element that God put on this earth for us. And that hydrogen gets into your bloodstream and then acts as a master antioxidant. So it helps the mitochondrial process, which is your energy system in your body, to work better, and it gets rid of the bad stuff. It gets rid of the free radicals inside your bloodstream. So it really clears out the bad stuff, helps the good stuff work, and then we combine it with those 7 biblical herbs that give you energy. So you have barley grass and wheatgrass, which give you the nutrients that you need every day, right? Most people are energy deficient because our water is messed up, our food supply is all messed up. 70% of our foods that we eat today in this world are, at least in the United States, is ultra processed food. So the nutrients are gone, even if you think it looks like a green, beautiful apple. It's probably genetically modified and doesn't have the nutrients that our apples used to have. So it's just a bad thing. So anyway, the nutrients of barley grass and wheatgrass are really cool. Saffron helps with stress relief and regulation, which is pretty awesome because lots of people are stressed out nowadays. And aloe is really good for your gut health, which is where your health really starts, is in your gut. And then we have cumin, frankincense, and myrrh, which really help with inflammation response. And so inflammation is the source of all disease, which is crazy, right? One of the doctors I interview on my podcast literally said that the inflammation starts the disease process. And so if you can reduce inflammation, then guess what? You're going to reduce those other problems that end up occurring. So let's get inflammation out of the body. Let's give your body the nutrients it needs. Let's clear out the bloodstream of the bad and get the good working well. And that's why this product is so phenomenal. Just because I know that if you do it, 2 capsules in the morning, 2 capsules in the afternoon, you're going to feel this natural energy. Don't these crashes that you get with caffeine and other energy drinks, which a lot of people drink. You don't need that with this. It gives you sustained energy, but it's also doing amazing stuff inside your body that you don't even see. You don't know until you start taking it for 30, 45 days, and then you start feeling really good. You're like, why do I feel so much better? It's like, oh yeah, it's because I started taking this Exodus product 45 days ago. So I'm just, super. It's a super cool product. I can't ignore it because it's really important. And Biohackingville, it's just gonna be one of the many things we do at Biohackingville, right? Is if you want my frequency patches, we'll have those available. That frequency patch business is QE Strong for Quantum Energy Strong. So QEstrong.com. And then my supplement Exodus is exodusstrong.com. And so both of those are pretty cool things that I think that help people immediately, right? You have issues and problems, go look and try those products. We have a 60-day money back guarantee. So guess what? Doesn't work, we'll refund your money. And so that's pretty cool. But anyway, super passionate about just helping people their health and their faith. And one of the things I can't ignore this either. This is my last segue is the prayer guide. So this prayer guide is really important because our mission at Exodus is to get 1 million new people to read the Word through their health. And so obviously want to help people with their health. That's the basis of the supplement. But if they use this prayer card, it has an intention. So you're literally declaring it out loud with your tongue, which is the Bible tells us there's power in the tongue. So it's very, very important. So to say it out loud and then read it. So you're using your eyes to read it and your ears to hear yourself say it. And then you're declaring it with your mouth, like I mentioned. Then you take the capsules and you put them inside your body. You're using 4 out of your 5 God-given senses to help you with your problem or whatever issue that you're dealing with. Maybe you have, whatever issue it is you're having. This prayer guide is really awesome. So we want to get people to be that each Bible verse has got a specific intention for health related issues. And it's kind of intriguing because you'll say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that said that in the Bible. And so we even have reading plans that you can say, I want to understand what was that verse and what did it mean back then? And then not only what did it mean back then, but what is it, how do I apply it to my life today and why? So we kind of give, a 30-minute, reading plan about that particular verse if you're interested. So, just getting people intrigued about the word, because what I found fascinating with the word is the more I learn, the more I don't know, and the more that I have to continue to read and research and understand, because the Bible is just such an amazing. People study it for 30 years and they're still learning. So, I don't think I have 30 years. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully I have 30 years left. We'll see. I'm going to biohack the heck out of this body, so I'm going to live a very long time, because I believe that's why the Lord has me here to help people. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Super excited about life. Super excited about biohackingville. Super excited to help people. I really want to be a place where people feel comfortable to talk to and try to find resources and just find this community of people who love each other and are trying to help each other. And let's live life together and let's make this world a better place.
I love your mission, man. I love everything you're doing, and I love the way you're using your podcast to, further it. And I love that, you're like letting everybody know, hey, this is what's coming. Tune in now, and people can subscribe to the podcast you have now, and literally just follow the journey of you building
That's
this
right.
whole thing, which is going to be
That's
really,
right. You're going to
really
see
awesome.
something built from the ground up, right? You're going to see something that
Yeah.
starts from nothing, which is nothing now, and you're in 12 months from now, it's going to be a big deal. And so get in there early and help me build it, right? Just give me suggestions. Say, oh my gosh, you should do this. You should do that, right? I'm an open book, and I'm gonna learn from people, and I'm going to modify the strategy. But the strategy that I have right now, it's just book there it is. And I'm getting that biohackingville trademark, so don't try that. So but I'm super excited about building this world, the biohackingville world. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to need a lot of help, right? I'm going to need people who are passionate about doing this and want to be an admin on the particular topic. If there's something you're super passionate about with any of those things I talked about, let me know, because I would love to have some admins that can really help me grow this. I'm going to have tools that we're going to be feeding it with lots of knowledge bases of information, lots of AI tools for people to learn how to use AI to be better in those different areas. And just I'm going to have it packed full of resources, and I'm also going to need people to help me find those resources, right? So it's going to take a village,
Yeah.
but that's going to be fun building it.
I almost hate to ask this question because I mean you're so just on fire about everything, man. But my the question I usually ask folks and about doing your podcast, and you may have already answered it, brother. The way you're rocking and
I'll answer it
rolling.
again.
I
What the
mean,
heck?
so you may have to just double down. But this is my corny question I ask everybody on this podcast, and that is, when it comes to doing your podcast, what is it? I can't wait to hear this answer. What is it you love the most about doing your podcast? And what is it that you just absolutely really can't stand about doing the podcast?
Yeah, that's it. So the best one is just how it's helping other people, right? Like
There you
literally
go.
has nothing to do with me. It's like if I'm able to interview this amazing guest, Naisha Winters, and you have some type of cancer, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I should do that. And that's an amazing resource. Maybe I should go research that. And that helps one person, and that one person has a better life because what they listened to on my podcast or watched on my podcast, then man, my life is I'm so happy because that's what drives me. That's the only reason I do this is to help people. And the thing I hate the most is like, I gotta go record. It's like I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to, I don't want to be tied down because I've lived in the corporate world for so long that I don't want to have that 9 to 5 job, right? That's why I love my podcast once a week because like, okay, once a week I know I've got to get an episode done, and then I was like, okay, I got that done. Spend a couple hours, get that done, and it's wrapped up, and I'm doing the next thing. But I really have an honest to God feeling that with this new one, I won't be doing it justice if I only do it once a week. And so I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna be doing a lot, and I believe that that's just going to drive further growth. But me doing it, so even though it's something that I dread, is having to do this specific thing at a specific time. I believe it's going to turn into that, and I'm okay with that because that if it's furthering the mission of what I'm doing, like I mentioned, the things that I'm worried about, I'm not worried about anymore. I used to be, like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and oh, this is a bother, but it's not a bother anymore to me. It's like, okay, if this is what the Lord wants me to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it happily, and just going to do it. So regardless of me, it doesn't really matter whether I feel put out by doing it. It's just what He wants me to do, so I'm going to do
Well, you might feel put out by having to do it at a certain time or something,
it.
but I've listened to your podcast, brother. I've heard several episodes on there, and you are having a blast when you are
I
interviewing people.
try. Like let's have fun, right? If we're gonna be here,
Yeah.
let's have fun and let's learn while we're doing it, and let's try to make an impact on people's lives, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
you're gonna sit there and listen to a boring conversation. Who wants to do that, right?
No.
I got way other more important things to do than listen to a boring conversation. So hopefully make a little bit of fun, and also just drop some nuggets, right? I love dropping nuggets. I love I always tell people 5 things that I would do for free for your health if it's something you're interested in. Do these 5 things, and boom, you're going to transform your health, and then you're going to say, oh my gosh, I never had done that, and I feel better. Maybe I should go listen to what this guy has to say. And so I love to do that.
Nice. All right. I mean, you've got just under 70 episodes out there as it is. I mean, so, you've been doing this for a minute, for sure. As we kind of, head towards wrapping this up and we bring this to a close, what is it about, what, in terms of doing your podcast, what is the best piece of advice that you have for podcasters who are just not quite where you are yet?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I think it's just not there are so many good resources on podcasting now that when I started, it was really difficult to figure out, okay, how do I create this podcast? How do I structure the conversation? How do I do research on the people that I'm talking with so that I can have intelligent conversation with them? And so there's so much more information out there, and the AI is so amazing. If you get good with some of these AI tools, you can really plan out your podcast in a really professional way. You can change your intro, you can change your ending, you can your CDA, your call to actions, right? The things that you want to people to do, you can make these so much more professional and so much more engaging if you just use some of these AI tools. So I would just be real heavily in research on AI tools to help you structure your podcast in a fun way and things that you can do that to engage people. And man, it's just the information is there. It's your fault if you don't go utilize it. So go, that's your warning is everybody else is learning that these tools are out there. And if you're not using them, you're going to be behind. So go start utilizing those. Just start making your podcast more fun and engaging, and give people value, because that's like what I learned early on. I was like, I told you, I was like, I'm going to try to help sell my products. It's like, I don't talk about my product on the show 99% of the time because it's not part of what I'm doing. I want to add value to people's lives, and I'm adding value to people's lives by interviewing these amazing guests who have a story to tell. And they're there because they're helping people in this world. And so I want to just lift them up, right? I'm lifting all my guests up as the star of the show. I'm just a guy asking questions. And I'm every once in a while I'll have a couple of sentences I'll mention about something I'm passionate about, but 90% of the conversation is my guest and what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they're doing it. And man, you're getting some golden nuggets from those conversations. So just let your guest be the star and then try to find out what they're passionate about and then what are the messages they want to deliver to your audience and then phew, let them go, right? Let them go and I think you'll have an amazing podcast.
Awesome. Love that advice. Absolutely love it. How can everybody reach you one more time? Give them all the places to go find Rob Rene.
Sounds great. So exodusstrong.com, boom, is my supplement business. Amazing supplement, helps your life in a dramatic way. QEstrong.com are those skin patches, the frequency things that are not woo-woo. I promise they're really cool. And then you're going to find Biohackingville everywhere. Biohackingville is nowhere right now, but you're going to find it everywhere. So I'm going to be on all the social media platforms. Biohackingville.com will be an amazing community site. That's where I'm going to be living a lot of my time when I'm not doing my day job. I'm going to be in Biohackingville having these conversations, setting up and doing research on all these ways to help people. And so I would say biohackingville.com if you want to have a personal conversation with me and want to help me grow Biohackingville, would love it, right? I'm going to need volunteers that are going to help me do this. I'm going to need an army of them because it's going to be a big project and a big effort, but I'm so stoked about it that I want to get people who are also excited about it and who want to help me, build this thing. Because literally in 12 months from now, we're going to look back on this and say, wow, what humble beginnings did we have? Yes, but look where we are now. We're going to really impact people's lives. It's going to be a blast along the way.
I love it, Rob. I love every minute of it. Okay, folks, go follow I Am Pain Free, the podcast by Rob Rene, because that's going to be your portal into this entire new world that he is putting together
That's
for
right.
Biohackingville. It's going to be awesome. Follow that. It'll take you right to the new podcast as soon as he makes the switch. Rob Rene, brother, I am honored that you unpacked all this on the show. I really am. I just
It's
love it,
you're
man.
literally you're the first person for me to talk about it live. So there we go.
Thank you, man.
I'm excited that it's going to be out there in the wild. Now I can't turn back. It's going to be out there. I got to
That's
go.
right. You can't
I got
dial
to
it
get her
back now,
done.
man. You can't.
I'm literally
Oh,
fighting with my designer right now on the logo. It's like, come on, dude, this is not right. You got to get this right. It's got to be
oh, I love
good.
it. I love it.
It's
Thank you for
fun.
being thank you for being on the show today, brother. I really
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me, bud.
You
Appreciate it.
got it. Folks, this is another episode of The Podcaster Nation, and even I was caught off guard today. It was absolutely fantastic. The reason we have such awesome podcasters on here talking about all these great things is because this is the podcast. It's about podcasters, it's for podcasters, and it's done by podcasters. This is truly the place where the rising tide raises all ships. So keep sailing.